Just give me a few seconds. I'm just trying to bring up my screen. Hare Krishna. So we'll sing Jai Radha Madhav before we begin the class, and feel free to repeat if you are able to. You can unmute and sing. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivara Dhari.
Jai Radha Madhava Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivara Dhari.
Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivara Dhari.
Jai Radha Madhava Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivara Dhari.
Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana
Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana
Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana
Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana
Yamuna Tira Vanachari
Yamuna Tira Vanachari
Yamuna Tira Vanachari
Yamuna Tira Vanachari.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare
Krishna, Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare Hare
Hare Hare
Rama
Hare
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 Rama
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 Hare
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 Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare
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 Rama,
Rama
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama
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 Rama,
Rama
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Hare Hare
Hare
Rama
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna Krishna Krishna
Krishna Krishna,
Hare Hare
Hare
Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare
Hare Rama
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama
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 Rama,
Rama
Hare
Hare Hare
Hare.
Hare
Hare Krishna Krishna
Hare
Krishna Hare Hare
Hare Rama,
Hare Rama
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 Rama,
Rama Hare Hare
Jai Radha
Madhava Kunja
Madhava
Bihari
Bihari
Gopi
Gopijana
Jana
Vallabha
Vallabha Girivara
Girivara
Sari Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivara Sari.
Hare Krishna. Welcome each and every one of you for this Saturday morning Bhagavad Gita classes discussions. I hope you all can hear and see the slides clearly. So today, before we begin discussing on the verse for today from the Bhagavad Gita verse, we will take the blessings of all the acharyas and say the Mangalacharan prayers. Who are able to can repeat, or you don't have to repeat, you can see and say along, or the rest we can hear. Om Ajnanaatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadhantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tham Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padhan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dhinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadhi Pashyatya Deshatarine Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. I was born in the darkest of ignorance, and my spiritual master opened my eyes with the torch of knowledge. I offer my respectful obeisances unto him. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So these are Mangalacharan prayers. That is really nice if we can practice them on a daily basis, because by taking blessings from all our acharyas, we will be able to do any of our devotional service as pleasing to the Lord, and they will empower us to do this very nicely. So today's verse, we are discussing from chapter 9, which is called, who knows? What is chapter 9 called? Anybody wants to answer? We can have it more interactive if it's okay.
The most confidential knowledge.
The most confidential knowledge. Thank you very much. So the 9th chapter is the most confidential knowledge, or it's called Raja Vidya. So it's a very, very special chapter, and every chapter and every verse is very special in Bhagavad Gita, no doubt. But the Lord has said this is very, very confidential too, and it's Raja Vidya. So let's see what is the Lord helping us to understand in each of these verses. Today we'll be seeing 9:22, one of the verses from that chapter, the most confidential knowledge. So, and even in this chapter, as the Lord begins, he says in the second verse, Raja Vidya Raja Guhyam Pavitram Idam Uttamam Pratyakshavagamam Dharmyam Susukum Kartum Avyayam. Susukham, that means this process, this knowledge is the king of education, this whole bhakti process, the most secret of all secrets. It is the purest knowledge, and because it gives direct perception of the self by realization, it is the perfection of religion. It is everlasting, and it is joyfully performed. So the most important part is it is joyfully performed. So since it's not that something, it's something that's very serious, doesn't have to be that you have to be fearful of that knowledge or scared to approach it. But Krishna says that we happily perform this devotional service. So all contradictions become very easy, like just the thought in our mind when we say confidential, it's very, 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 very high level. Like when we say PhD, then there is a fear in our heart. Oh, that requires a lot of endeavor. That requires there will be a lot of difficulty. That's what the mind says, the words that the mind gives us. But here Krishna says, this is for sure the most confidential knowledge. But when you take shelter of me, it will be so easy that it'll be so we can happily perform this devotional service with the blessings of the Lord when he is by our side. And in this verse today, this is also a very beautiful verse. So let's move ahead and see what that verse is. So it's 9:22. So I'll say word by word. If you would please kindly repeat, and then I will say the whole sentence, which also we could sing along. Ananyas Chintayanto Mam Ye Jana Pariyupasate
Pariyupasate
Tesham
Tesham
Nityabhiyuktanam
Nityabhiyuktanam
Yogakshemam
Yogakshemam
Vahamyaham.
Vahamyaham.
Thank you so much. Now I'll say sing it like how it is said. We have to sing the Bhagavad Gita. So Ananyas Chintayanto Mam
Ananyachintayanto mam
Ye Jana Pariyupasate
Ye jana pariyupasate
Tesham Nityabhiyuktanam
Tesham nityabhiyuktanam
Yogakshemam Vahamyaham
Yogakshemam vahamyaham
Ananyas Chintayanto Mam
Ananyachintayanto mam
Ye Jana Pariyupasate
Ye jana pariyupasate
Tesham nityabhiyuktanam
Tesham nityabhyuktanam
yogakshemam vahamyaham.
Yogashemam
Yogakshemam
vahamyaham.
vahamyaham.
Would anybody else would like to do the lead? We all can follow. The rest of us can follow.
Ananya sintayanto mam.
Ananya Chintayanto Mam.
Ye jana paryupasate. Yo jana paryupasate. Tesham nityabhyuktanam.
Tesam Nityabhyuktanam.
Yogakshmam vahamyaham.
Shema. Yoga. Shema.
Yogakshemam
Yogakshemam vahamyaham.
Yoga.
Yogakshemam
vahamyaham.
vahamyaham. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Bhavya, are you there? Would you like to try? I miss my kids. Okay, if she's not there, anybody else would like to lead, please go ahead.
Ananyashchintayanto mam.
Ananya sintayanto mam.
Asade.
Ye jana
Jana
paryupasate.
Tesam Nityabhyuktanam.
Vahamyaham.
Yogakshemam vahamyaham.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. This verse itself is so pleasing when we are reciting, right? Let's see what the synonyms and purport are. By Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Synonyms. Kindly repeat. Ananya.
Ananya,
Having no other object.
having no other object.
Chintayantaha.
Chintayantaha,
Concentrating.
concentrating.
Mam.
Mom,
On me.
on me.
Yea.
Ye,
Those who.
those who.
Jana.
Jana,
Persons.
persons.
Paryupasate.
Paryupasate,
Properly worship.
properly worship.
Tesham.
Tesham,
Of them.
of them.
Nitya.
Nitya,
Always.
always.
Abhiyuktanam.
Abhiyuktanam,
Fixed in devotion.
fixed in devotion.
Yoga.
Yoga,
Requirements.
requirements.
Shemam.
Shemam,
Protection.
protection.
Vahami.
Bahami,
Carry.
carry.
Aham.
Aham,
I.
I.
Translation. Bhavya, I'm happy to see you. Hare Krishna. Would you like to read translation, Bhavya? Can you see it?
But those who always worship me with exclusive devotion, meditating on my transcendental form, to them I carry what they lack and I preserve what they have.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, girl. So happy to hear your voice.
Thank you.
So any one more person would like to read? This is really very nice translation. Another devotee would like to volunteer?
Hare Krishna Mataji, I would like to read translation.
Yes, please, Savitra Mataji. Please go ahead.
Translation. But those who always worship me with exclusive devotion, meditating on my transcendental form, to them I carry what they lack and I preserve what they have. Thank you,
Thank
Mataji.
you. Thank you so much, Savitra Mataji. This is so nice. Like when we do something, like when we are engaged exclusively in devotion and meditating on the transcendental form of Krishna, what is Krishna saying? What will he do for us? So he's saying that I carry what they lack, like whatever we lack, he will carry, and he will preserve whatever we have. What a wonderful promise that the Lord is giving. So fully guaranteed, everything is taken care of by the Lord. So let's see the purport, how Srila Prabhupada is explaining this to us. Any other volunteers would like to read the purport?
One who is unable to live for a moment without Krishna consciousness cannot but think of Krishna 24 hours a day. Being engaged in devotional service by hearing, chanting, remembering, offering prayers, worshipping, serving the lotus feet of the Lord, rendering other services, cultivating friendship, and surrendering fully to the Lord. Such activities are all auspicious and full of spiritual potencies, which make the devotee perfect in self-realization, so that his only desire to be achieve the association of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Such a devotee undoubtedly approaches the Lord without difficulty. This is called yoga. By the mercy of the Lord, such a devotee never comes back to this material condition of life. Shema refers to the merciful protection of the Lord. The Lord helps the devotee to achieve Krishna consciousness by yoga. And when he becomes fully Krishna conscious, the Lord protects him from falling down to a miserable condition in life.
Jai. Thank you so much, Prabhu. Very nice explanation by Srila Prabhupada. So let's try to understand what is Krishna trying to mean by saying he will protect what we have and he will carry what we lack and he will preserve what we have. So, and how can we, to get this confidence from Krishna, what do we have to do to get that protection from the Lord? So in this connection, there is a beautiful story. Since our kids are also here, it's very nice to share stories. So I'm going to share this story by Srila Prabhupada. He tells this beautiful story of Arjuna Charya. There was a very nice devotee by the name Arjuna Charya. Many of you would have heard about this story also. And this is very instructive for this verse. It fits in so well, so it helps us understand also. Like he was a great devotee and he was very humble, nicely serving, reading Bhagavad Gita, very living a simple life. And when he was reading, one of the days when he was reading this chapter in Bhagavad Gita, and when he came to this verse, Ananyas Chintayanto Mam Ye Janah Pariyupasate Tesham Nityaviyuktanam Yoga Kshemam Vahamyaham. I personally carry. That is Vahami. I personally do it. That's what Vahami means. And he thought, how is that possible? Because when somebody is very rich or very in a very high position, he can just say somebody else to do it. He doesn't have to personally come to do anything or help anybody. So he thought maybe that's not the right word. Vahamyaham should be changed to Karomyaham. That means I'll get it done. Like I'll do it, but can be through somebody. Someone else he can send it to get that work done. So he just struck that word in Bhagavad Gita, and instead of Vahami, he changed it to Karomi, like he wanted to change that. And so he striked it out. And he just closed the book and he kept meditating on that. Is it really possible that the Lord personally comes to help his devotees? He was just thinking on that aspect of this verse, and he just went to do his daily activities, to go beg from door to door. That is what his profession was. Like he was a Brahmana, so he would go get madhukari, that was called, like it was not like begging, but would take alms from 3 houses to bring it home back. But that day he was just thinking on this pastime, and he kept walking outside. And in his house, there was not many things. He was a very simple Brahmana, so hardly there was any great ingredients for the wife to cook. But after some time, the wife heard a knock at the door, and she was like, there's hardly anybody visiting this house, and who is that is knocking to come in? And when she went outside, she saw these 2 beautiful boys. One was dark complexioned, another one was light complexioned. They were so charming, and they were carrying a lot of goods on their back. And they brought all the vegetables, the groceries, everything they carried, and they brought home. And they said, mother, we got all this. Your husband sent all this for today's cooking. She was very surprised because she has never seen so much of opulent groceries coming home. So she was like, really? And the boy said, yes, your husband is very mean too. And that the wife was like, no, my husband is so gentle. Like, he doesn't even harm an ant. He's nice to everybody. He can't be mean. And the dark complexion boy said, you know what? He even bet me for not doing my work properly. So he turned his back and he showed there was a whipping mark on his back. And the wife was like so shocked. She took the ingredients and she said, okay, please stay till I cook and I would love to feed you all. And the boy said, no, we are very scared of your husband. We want to run away before he comes. And she was like, she couldn't understand, correlate between what was happening. And it didn't look like the boys were lying either. They were very honest. And he was showing the mark on his back that he had this red mark on his back. So the wife was already confused. Like, two boys, so beautiful. First, she's so lost looking at their beauty. And then she's seeing all these things coming in and they're saying that they got whipped by the husband. So she's in that state of confusion and unable to speak. The boys quickly leave the house and they go. And then she begins preparing the food, thinking of to correlate, what is this happening today? Something very unusual. And she's feeling like, my husband would never do this, but I have to trust these boys because they were telling the truth. And I saw the beating mark on the back of that boy too. And it was all red on his back. And the husband came slowly after taking his bath and he came home. And that day he could not even get any alms from anybody because he was so lost in the thought about this verse and what he did and what he did not understand. And he was very late for going. And by the time he went, nobody had any alms to give him. So that day he had none. So he came empty-handed and he was going to tell his wife, I'm so sorry that I really did not get anything in my begging bowl. And the wife was like, you just sent all the ingredients. See here, I have cooked so much of bhoga, the boys brought. And he was like, who brought it? And the wife explains that two boys came in. They got all these things. And Arjunacharya was like, who are these two boys? Can you describe them? I didn't send anyone. And then she describes how beautiful they were. She couldn't take the eyes of them. One was dark complexioned, one was light complexioned. And they were so beautiful. They had some peacock feather. One of them had a peacock feather. One had a flute, the other had a plow, and he had beautiful yellow garments. And they were having beautiful, beautiful jewelry on their bodies. They were so amazing. And I was just mesmerized by their beauty. But before even anything I could say or do, and they went off. And then the husband asked, why didn't you ask them to stay so that you could cook and offer the bhoga to them? Then the wife said, but they were scared of you, that you mistreated them and you really bet one of the boys. And he showed me his back. He had a real dark mark of whipping on his back. And then Arjunacharya was like, oh, Krishna, what has happened? He ran to his book and he saw that mark that was on the back of Krishna was that red line that he crossed on Vahamyaham. He thought that word is not right. So that's how we say that Bhagavad Gita is non-different from Krishna. So we always pray and we take care of the book. It's not just a book, it's the personal form of the Lord. So this is a story that says that the Lord personally comes to protect his devotees. And a very, very nice story to illustrate. And this truly happened many years ago in our tradition. And in connection to this story, we also get to know that if somebody is very rich, so what, right? When somebody is very powerful, so what? Because what is our benefit if somebody is very powerful or very rich or is all knowing? So what to us? But if he is very merciful, if he is willing to give his riches to us and he's willing to help us, that is the best part, right? So Krishna is such powerful, merciful God. Not just that he possesses, that he is that supreme Lord who possesses all the riches, all the wealth, beauty, knowledge, everything is in his possession, but he's very merciful. He loves each one of us. That's the greatest hope that we have. So like our loving father and mother, right? We don't get afraid of going to our parents and asking them anything. Even before we ask, we are provided on a daily basis. So that's exactly what Krishna is doing to us on a daily basis. But those devotees who are extremely devoted, who are 24/7 meditating on his pastimes, glories, singing kirtans, and offering prayers, he personally takes care of them. So that's where his promise is coming. And he's saying this to Arjuna, right? So he's saying that don't worry, Arjuna, if you are giving your attention to me, you're ananyas chintayantomam, you're always thinking of me, remembering me, offering obeisances to me, and you're worshiping me, I will take care of all that. Whatever you have, I will take care and provide whatever you lack. So that's the promise. And he's giving that assurance. Come on, Arjuna, get up and fight. I am there for you. I am there means I'm really there for you. So that's how we can see even in the Mahabharata war, Krishna lifted that chakra, the wheel of the chariot, right? He even promised that he will not touch any weapon. But when Arjuna was in trouble, and Bhishma Dev was just going so fiercely to that today he's going to finish off Arjuna, what did Krishna do? He just picked up that wheel and he ran towards Bhishma Dev. He didn't worry about breaking his promise. He's like, I don't care. My friend comes first, who has given everything for me. He's that kind of a friendship. That's the loving Lord that we are talking about. It's so assuring that he's there for us every time, always. So now that we know that the Lord is there and he is there to keep up his promise, but how can we, following in the footsteps of Arjuna, how can we be more devoted to the Lord? So let's see further. So in the purport when we read, we also read about the 9 process of devotional service, right? So here Prahlad Maharaj in Bhagavatam, he describes what is that devotional service? What are the limbs of devotional service? That's written as Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu Smaranam Pada Sevanam Archanam Vandanam Dhasyam Sakhyam Atmanivedanam Iti Pumsarpita Vishnu Bhaktirschennava Kriyate Bhagavatyadha Tanmanye Dhitamuttamam. These are the 9 processes of devotional service, like hearing. Shravanam is first one, we see as hearing. We hear the glories of the Lord. The second is Kirtanam. We chant the glories of the Lord. Smaranam, we remember the Lord. Pada Sevanam, how Sri Lakshmi Devi is constantly serving the lotus feet of the Lord. Archanam, we offer worship. We do Aarti. In our house, we do Archanam to the Lord, the deity form of the Lord. Vandanam, offering prayers to the Lord, like how Dhruva Maharaj, Prahlad Maharaj, they all offered prayers to the Lord. Dhasyam, like a servant, see, Hanuman was always ready. Instantly, he was anytime the Lord Ram needed him, he is there to serve him at all costs. And Sakhyam, friendship. Arjun, who else is the best example? Arjun is the best friend of Krishna here. And Atma Nivedanam. We can see that there are so many devotees who have complete surrender to the Lord, all that they have. So these 9 processes are accepted as pure devotional service. One who has dedicated his life to the service of Krishna through these 9 methods should be understood to be the most learned person, for he has acquired complete knowledge. So this is being spoken by Prahlad Maharaj in Srimad Bhagavatam. So he is explaining these are those 9 wonderful ways of performing devotional service to Krishna. So let's also have some examples. They have perfected, like they are, when we say examples, they stand out when we take these names of practice of devotional service. So Shravanam, which is hearing, which is very easy, right? When somebody is giving a talk about Krishna, it's very easy to hear. But even the easiest part of hearing is just to hear. But how did Maharaj Parikshit? He perfected his life by hearing. That means he was so attentive that he did not eat or sleep, or he was engrossed in hearing Srimad Bhagavatam. So he's known for Shravanam. And Kirtanam, who was glorifying or singing and chanting the Lord's pastimes and names, Shukadev Goswami. So as Maharaj Parikshit was so attentively hearing, like you all there, he was attentively hearing, Shukadev Goswami, the narrator, was speaking, glorifying the Lord so wonderfully. And he perfected his life with the form of Kirtanam. The third one is Vishnu Smaranam, that is remembering the Lord. Bhakta Prahlad, he was constantly remembering the Lord. So that's how all the troubles that his own father gave him, it didn't bother him at all. He was protected personally by the Lord at every step. We all know the story of Prahlad Maharaj, right? He was thrown in the pits of snakes. He was thrown from the mountain cliff. He was put under the elephant. Which father would do that, right? But he had a demoniac father who wanted to kill his own son. So in that case, we can understand who is our real father, right? That's the Lord Krishna. He is our real father. He says, Suhridam Sarva Bhutanam, like he's saying, every living entity is my part and parcels. And in that example, how Prahlad is taking shelter of Krishna by always remembering him. And who came to save Prahlad at the end when the father chopped off that pillar? Can anybody say? Who came out of the pillar?
Hiranyakasipu.
Yeah, to kill Hiranyakasipu, Narsingadev came out. Narsingadev Bhagavan ki jai.
Narsinga Prabhu. Narsinga.
Yeah, Narsingadev came out in that such a ferocious lion, half man, half lion form. Who wants to come like this, right? You don't want to dress funny in front of somebody, right? He wanted to keep up the promise of Brahmaji too. So he was ready to do anything to protect his devotees. So he came personally. That's where we are talking about Yoga Kshemam Vahamyaham. So that Yoga Kshemam. So that two words I just wanted to highlight here. So when we talk about yoga, we all think, since you all have been hearing and reading Bhagavad Gita, you all know that yoga means to connect with whom? To our roots. And what is our root? To Krishna. So that's the process that we do, we endeavor. So when we endeavor, who is helping us? Krishna. So that process, even to do the devotional service, to perform the bhakti, Krishna is helping us. Kshemam, our wellness, also he takes care. So the process itself is also facilitated by the Lord, and the result is also given by the Lord. So yoga kshemam vahamyaham, I personally protect you. So that's a very nice way of understanding this verse. And then we see here pada sevanam, Mother Lakshmi, she's constantly serving the lotus feet of Narayan. And it is said that in the Vaikuntha, there is no dust, there is no mess. It's so clean, it's perfectly clean. But you know what? Lakshmi Devi takes the broom and she sweeps, it seems. She wants to do so much service that she takes a broom and sweeps, and there is no dust there in the Vaikuntha Dham. So she wants to do everything for the service of the Lord. She wants to make sure that everything is very nice in the service of the Lord. So she does Pada Sevanam very wonderfully. And Archanam, we have King Prithu Maharaj, who always wonderfully would do Arti and Archanam of his deities. And Akrura, he is known for praying, Vandanam. We remember when he went to get Krishna and Balaram from Vrindavan, he was in such a prayerful mood that he was already meditating. I'm going to see this beautiful Lord. And he took so long to go and reach from Mathura to Vrindavan, which is just a 3-hour drive, or even less if you go on a faster mode. He took for so long to go and reach from this end to that, because he was always remembering and praying that how will I go and approach the Lord? He was in such a prayerful mood. And for Dasyam, we have Hanuman, he was ready to execute all the orders of Lord Ram. Yes, sir. Right? That's what it's like, executing orders. Like, yes, sir. You're ready always. Whatever you say, I am here for you to take up the orders. And Sakyam, that is friendship. Arjun was always such a wonderful friend of Krishna, and we could see that beautiful friendship between each other. Krishna is personally the supreme Lord. He has become the charioteer for his dear friend Arjuna. So Arjuna is not a simple person that we are trying to follow in the footsteps of Arjuna, but he is not such an easy one. He's a friend of Krishna. That means what a position, what a loving exchange these two friends have. That Krishna is ready to do anything for Arjuna, anything, to any extent he's willing to go. So that is the friendship that Arjuna is showing, reciprocating with Krishna, that Krishna has that trust. Yes, here is my friend. He will listen to what I say. So what can we take? So Krishna through Bhagavad Gita, he's speaking to us. So how can we apply it in our daily lives? That's what it means to follow in the footsteps of Arjuna. And then we have Atma Nivedanam, is complete surrender. And who was that? Bali Maharaj. after the 3 steps, when Vamandev came to ask for 3 steps, Shukracharya said, no, don't give that promise. He's Vishnu, he's going to cheat you. He's going to take everything away from you. And Bali Maharaj says, you know what? Mother Earth can take the burden of everything, all the big, big mountains, the rocky mountains, all the big skyscraper buildings, all the oceans. She can take the weight of everything on her, Mother Earth. But she cannot take the weight of a liar who cannot keep up the promise. And I will not do that to Mother Earth. I cannot break the promise that I have given to this Brahmana boy, whoever it may be it Vishnu, whoever it be, my enemy or my friend. If I have given the promise, I will keep it up. So Bali Maharaj kept his promise. And when Lord Vamandev became Trivikrama, huge, and he just expanded so big, and he said, where to put my 3rd step now? 1 step covered the whole upper universe. 1 step took all the bottom part of the whole manifestation. Now, where is the place for the 3rd step? And Bali Maharaj said, here is my head. You can put it on my head. And that is complete surrender, right? Complete surrender. So when Vamandev put his leg, the 3rd foot on Bali Maharaj, was Krishna mean? No. He promised Bali Maharaj, he went along to Pataloka with Bali Maharaj. He stands as a doorkeeper at Bali Maharaj's place even today. So that's the glorious Lord and his glorious servants who have surrendered, and how the Lord reciprocates to such surrendered souls. And Maharaj Ambarish, he's known for performing all these Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, everything he perfected. So he's known for performing all these 9 processes. And we know that he also, when he had to break his fast, he was fasting for Ekadashi, and he went on. When he had to break the fast, Durvasa Muni came. And Durvasa Muni said, I have to go take bath and come, and then I can take the food. And Ambarish Maharaj was waiting, and his time, there is a time when you have to break the fast. But he didn't come back. He took his own sweet time while he went for his bath. So he just took a sip of water. What did Ambarish Maharaj do? He knew that he cannot eat anything when he has his guest at home. So he just took a little bit of, we call Charanamrit, from the water of the Lord. He just took a sip of it because it is considered breaking and not breaking. But when he sipped the water, who came? Durvasa Muni. Angrily, he came back and he said, how could you break the fast? You did not give respect to me. And he got so mad, he cursed Ambarish, and he sent a demon to kill him. And when he was happening, all this was happening, Lord Krishna protected by sending his chakra, and the chakra chases Durvasa Muni everywhere, and Durvasa Muni goes from planet to planet, save me, this chakra is chasing me. And even he goes to Krishna and he says that, please save me, my Lord. And he says, my chakra has left me. Now you have to go back to my devotee and ask for forgiveness. Only then the chakra will let you go. I don't have control either. Once it's gone, it's out of my control too. So the Durvasa Muni comes back and asks sorry from Ambarish Maharaj. And then the chakra leaves. Ambarish Maharaj is like, he's not angry. See what you did to me. See, let the chakra take care of you. Good, my Lord is protecting me. He didn't say that. He was praying, my Lord, please don't punish Durvasa Muni. He's such a kind, nice devotee of yours too. Please don't harm him. That was his mood. So this is the beautiful Lord and his devotees who are always magnanimous, and they are always having the wonderful qualities that we can ever think of. So this verse is really nice, both ways to know the mood of the devotee and the Lord. I was thinking this is very nice. In recent one of my classes, we were discussing about the 4 yugas. And this is very important to know. The numbers may be too much to remember. So it's okay if you don't focus on the numbers, but this pie diagram tells us the big part, the blue part is the Satya Yuga, and the red, it's the Treta, that's called the Silver Age. First one was the Golden Age. And then we have the green in Dwapara. And the small portion here in purple, it's like the Kali Yuga. So we only have a small portion here. So why am I talking about this one? So let's go forward and see. Here, yeah. So we want to know, the Lord says he comes in every yuga, right? He comes and he appears and he's there, paritrana yasadhunam vinashaya chatushkratam Dharma sansthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. I come in every millennium. So here the Lord comes. How does he choose that? So this is the top line is the life of Brahma, like one day. Like if we just understand this part, I'm going to go from below where we know. So here is Satya, Treta, Dwapara, Kali. This is one cycle that is called one Divya Yuga. Okay, that one Divya Yuga, if we multiply it into 71 times, 71 Divya Yugas, it is called one Manvantara. Here comes the next window. Here is the one Manvantara. That one Manvantara into 14 times, if we multiply, that is equivalent to one day, that is Kalpa, one day of Brahma. And our Krishna, he appears only once in one day of Brahma. And in that once, he chose this Manvantara that we are in currently here, this middle one, the seventh one. And in that, also there are 71 cycles. In that 71 cycles, he chose ours. That how special we all are, that in this cycle, Divya Yuga cycle, we are in this Kali. So Krishna came in this Dwapara Yuga, just the previous Dwapara Yuga. So he's so recent. Krishna personally, in his Supreme Personality of Godhead, he came. And in this Kali Yuga, who came? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So last Sunday, I guess many of you heard from Yugal Kishore Prabhu, how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is who appeared as Krishna in the mood of Srimati Radharani. He's non-different from Srimati Radharani and Krishna, the combined incarnation. And why did he come? He came to give the medicine for this age of Kali. So what is that medicine that he has come to give? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. He has come us to give this holy name of Mahamantra of deliverance, it is called. It's why it's called Mahamantra. And let's see a little bit more to understand. Many of you by now, you already know, but these emphasis and more getting to know gives us the understanding, the emphasis on why do we even chant? Why is it called a Mahamantra? So moving further, just a little bit more explanation on that. 71 we saw. In that, there is a window here where Krishna comes. This is that seventh Manvantara. Like every Manvantara has a name. So this Manvantara, the seventh one is called Vaivasvata Manvantara. Out of that 71, the 28th Divya Yuga that we are currently in is where Krishna and Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu have personally come. So we are so lucky. Just 500 years ago, just so recently, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to enact the pastimes and to give the Mahamantra to us. So just to give an idea about what Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapara, and Kali are. So Satya Yuga is the golden age that lasts for this many big numbers. The process of self-realization in this Yuga is meditation on Vishnu. So we saw that it was the life duration during this Yuga, the majority of population is situated in the mode of goodness. And the average lifespan at the beginning of this Yuga is like 100,000 years, like a person can live that long. So let's see how it is going down. Then in the Treta Yuga, it's called the Silver Age. It's almost like 1,296,000 years. That's the duration of Treta Yuga. And the process of self-realization is the performance of opulent yajnas, sacrifices. The average lifespan is 10,000 years, and the godly qualities decrease 1/4 compared to Satya Yuga. It is during this age that Varnashrama Dharma is introduced. I'm not going to go into detail of this, but you can see that how a little bit it gets degraded. So from Treta, it comes to Dwapara, or the Bronze Age, which lasts almost like 864,000 years. And the process of self-realization is the worship of the deities. Archanam is the main process of worship within the temples. So godly qualities are reduced by 50% by now. And the average lifespan is still 1,000 years. It's compared to us, it's really big though. So Kali Yuga, now we are in the Iron Age of hypocrisy and quarrel, lasts for 432,000 years. So for us, it has just begun. Lord Krishna appeared in his original transcendental form right before the beginning of Kali Yuga. The process of self-realization is Sankirtana, the chanting of the holy names of the Lord. God consciousness is reduced by 25% of the population. and life expectancy is only 100 years, and hardly it is there. So it's somewhere between 80 to 100 already now. By now, already 5,000 years of Kali Yuga have passed, and it is predicted that by the end of this Yuga, people will hardly be older than 20 years, and their only food will be meat. How terrible it is, right? So we don't have to think about the negative part. We can see that as it gets harder and difficult, the Lord makes the process really easier for us. So chanting the holy names is really so easy. So that's the emphasis that I want to say, that it may look very hard and difficult, but the Lord also made the process easy. He didn't say you have to go and meditate. He didn't say that you have to go and do the temple worship. He didn't say you have to do fire sacrifices. He said, wherever you sit and chant, that's more than enough. Just take my holy name. All the powers I have invested in my holy name. So to give an easier understanding, this is what I want to emphasize, not the numbers. Like how for Satya Yuga, the meditation of Lord Vishnu was the process, Treta Yuga performing sacrifices, Dwapara was elaborate temple worship, and in Kali Yuga it has become so simple that we could just chant the holy names of the Lord and we get all the same benefit from it. I hope it's getting easier. So the word yoga, I just wanted to emphasize here. You all must have been reading the Bhagavad Gita, hearing all the yoga ladders from Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Ashtanga Yoga, and how Bhakti Yoga is on the top rung of the ladder and encompasses all the process of yoga, of linking our consciousness and using our form, whatever we are gifted with, in the service of the Lord. The linking process back to the Lord is called yoga, or the yuj. So that's where Bhakti Yoga we are talking about, and how Lord is saying that he will protect our yoga and kshema. To tell us more, from where is this Mahamantra now? From where did it come? So it is written in Kali Santarana Upanishad. So it is the Upanishad that is mentioned for this age, Kali Santarana Upanishad. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Iti Shodashakam Namnam Kali Kalmashanashanam. Nata Paratarauphaya Sarva Vedeshu Drishyate. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. These 16 names, composed of 32 syllables, are the only means to counteract the evil effects of Kali Yuga. In all the Vedas, it is seen that to cross the ocean of nescience, there is no alternative to the chanting of the holy names of Krishna. So this is mentioned in the Upanishad, Kali Santarana Upanishad, and it's also in Chaitanya Charitamrita. And there are many, many Upanishads where it's also mentioned about the glories of the holy name. Harer Nama, Harer Namaiva Kevalam, Kalav Nastyeva Gatiranyata. 3 times it is mentioned. For deliverance in this Kali Yuga, there is no other way, there is no other way, there is no other way except chanting the holy names of the Lord. So this is in Brihad Naradhiya Puran. So just to give you all these examples and charts to tell you that how Krishna in Bhagavad Gita, he has said, he ends Bhagavad Gita by saying, you have to surrender to me. And in Srimad Bhagavatam, we can see all the examples of great personalities who have surrendered their lives and perfected it. And at the end of Srimad Bhagavatam, how the chanting of the holy name is mentioned as the prime benediction for this age of Kali. And Chaitanya Charitamrita, the whole life of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, talks about how the Lord personally came. Like now Krishna gave an order, now you all chant, but he also does not just let it go like that. He comes in as a student himself to teach us how do we chant and practice this devotional service in our daily life. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's life story, if any of you are interested, some days we can discuss more in detail. He and his expansions, everybody came to show us by their personal example how they chant and danced and perfected their life in this Kali Yuga. So that is the appearance of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in this Kali. And one of his great disciples is Haridas Thakur. The name itself says Hari Das. He is a servant of Hari. So he was born in a Mohammedan family, in a Muslim family. But he, from day one, he was such a devotee of the Lord that he chanted every day. Like we all take a vow of initiation, where we take that at least 16 rounds of 108 beats we chant, which takes closely to 2 hours of chanting the Mahamantra. But Haridas Thakur chanted 300,000 names every single day, close to 174 rounds. That means close to like 20 hours or so of chanting the holy names. That's the taste he had for chanting the holy name. And the holy name reciprocates. Like those of us who are chanting, we don't have to we don't have any questions because we see the reciprocation already in us. The holy name is reciprocating with us because holy name is non-different from Krishna. How Draupadi called out for the holy name and the holy name came to protect her. So that's how when we chant the holy names, Krishna reciprocates in our heart and we are able to taste the nectar of Krishna's holy name as we chant. So Haridas Thakur, he was actually, beautiful story of his life. Someday we can go in depth to hear his story. Since he was born in a Muslim family, the Nawab of that, he was born in Bangladesh, East Bengal of those days, the Bangladesh of recent times. So it's more of Mohammedan community where they thought they actually punished him. They said, stop, what are you doing? You're praying to a Hindu god. You're taking the names of a Hindu god. So you should be like killed. And that Qazi has said that he should not be easily killed. He should get a severe punishment so that the other people, when they see the punishment, they will be scared even to think of doing such an act of thinking of a Hindu god. So he was whipped in 22 marketplaces. 22 marketplaces, he was whipped to death. But you know what? The more they whipped, he was getting ecstatic and he was chanting more and more and more. And he didn't feel a single pain, not a single whip. He felt this is a recent one. It is not like some other yuga. This is in this yuga. So this was just 500 years back. So he was whipped so much and nothing happened. And you know, the people who were whipping him, they started crying. They said, our hands are first of all gone. Like nobody even survives after the first or second marketplace they took him to each marketplace so that people can see him, how he's being tortured, so that everybody will get afraid and not follow this process of chanting. So the more they whipped, the more people were astonished to see the magic of the chanting because he was not hurt and he was feeling more happiness by chanting more and more. And he said, even you cut my body into pieces, every piece will chant the holy names of Krishna. That was his love for the holy name. And he actually, after that, so many whipping, those people begged him, please, if you don't die, the Qazi will kill us because we did not kill you by whipping. So Haridas was so merciful. He didn't want anyone else to suffer on his behalf. So he said, if you all that you want me is to die, fine. He just closed his eyes and he went into trance thinking of Krishna and his body was like dead, no life in it. And they just carried it, threw it in the Ganga. And they went and said the Qazi that he's dead. Haridas is dead. And the Qazi was like, okay, finally happy. After a few days, he just walked off Ganga and he came back to the village chanting the holy names of the Lord. And the Qazi was surprised. He's like, he's alive as if nothing happened to him. And the Qazi became a devotee. He saw the magic and the miracle of the holy name right in front of his eyes. So he became a devotee and he said, nobody should stop or give trouble to the devotees who are chanting the holy name of the Lord. So he became a great devotee and Haridas Thakur is called Namacharya. That means he's the Acharya for chanting the holy names of the Lord. So Namacharya Haridas Thakur ki jai. Let us pray to him that we will also get some fraction of faith and some love for chanting the holy names of the Lord. And we also can perfect our lives in this Kali Yuga by taking the right medicine. The Lord has come to give us this holy name of the Lord. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So nobody is concocting. Everything is there in the scriptures. So it's up to us when we develop our faith and we hear with that faith, Krishna reciprocates in our heart. So who has come to give us and make this all available to us is Srila Prabhupada. His whole life is an example. He came with 40 rupees. 40 rupees is nothing, not even converted into US currency. At the age of 70, crossing in a cargo ship to US. He didn't come to conquer anybody. He came to give this love to each one of us. He sat nights and days writing this Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita, translating it to English for you and me to understand, so that we can practice this Krishna consciousness, the knowledge. I don't even remember somebody explaining these knowledge to me so in a way that I can also understand. No college, no university teaches us this wonderful, the most important knowledge of life, the manual of life. Srila Prabhupada came to freely give us. We are not charged. We pay so high amounts to get some degree that will be done at the end of this life. We give so much time, put so much effort. We have to memorize so many books and give all those exams and I don't know what not, to not even remember maybe after that examination. But Srila Prabhupada has come. He has given us this knowledge which will take us out of this chakra, out of this cycle of birth and death forever, to back to Krishna's lotus feet. So we are so indebted to Srila Prabhupada. Within 10 years, 108 temple. What magic can we experience? Like 10 years, I don't even remember how much accomplishments each one of us would have possibly done. Such an old man with 40 rupees in hand, no one in US, no left or right. He had no relatives, nobody to support him. All that he said was, please chant the holy names. For that, Krishna reciprocated with love. And you see the movement is spread all over the world. And we are benefiting sitting here in Windsor because of Srila Prabhupada. So Srila Prabhupada ki jai. If any of you have any reflections, and I also want to tell you that every morning, there are many devotees chanting from 4 in the morning, anytime. If you all would like to join the same conference call number that you all use for reading Bhagavad Gita in the night, the shlokas, the same numbers you could use, and make sure that you're just chanting. And you can hear a few devotees who are getting up in the early mornings and chanting. So it goes almost like till 7. Even 5-10 minutes if you could join, it'll be really nice. It will help us. If not the weekdays, at least the weekends, it's there 7 days a week. It's open, the call is open. So you're all welcome and let's all benefit by chanting together. Thank you all so much for your kind attention. Please forgive me if I said anything wrong. I hope that this sharing of this message is uplifting for myself and for you all also. It's open for any questions or reflections you all have.
Thank you.